Guys, I have this interesting video that definitely you need to listen to this one. You definitely listen to this video. Now, do you remember that in court, under cross-examination, Brigadier Gininda now pretend as if he doesn't know anything about the hearsay, right? Judge Ratamokwatleng, he doesn't know anything about the hearsay evidence. It turns out that Nisi has been on point. Nisi has been proving a point here. And what's the point you want to hear? Don't worry, I'm about to unpack that. When the hearsay evidence was introduced, then Nisi interjected and said, this is hearsay evidence. Do not proceed with this hearsay evidence unless you are going to call the person who is said to be the originator of the story. Now, Nisi argued that, guess who was the referee, the witness, and you name it. Judge Ratamokwatleng says, allow the witness to do that. But today, the same judge doesn't know anything about the hearsay evidence. It is as if Nisi is arguing or is introducing the hearsay evidence. And now it is being made as if it is Nisi's problem, whereas it was the judge that allowed the hearsay evidence even then. So we can't blame Nisi for a hearsay evidence that was allowed by the judge. Today, the judge knows nothing about the hearsay evidence. It is the problem of Nisi. Guys, I'm worried. But thanks to William Mohoro, he brought this to my attention and I brought it to your attention then. But then yesterday, I've been doing my research. So I came across the video that I'm about to play, the video that I'm about to give you, where you will hear Nisi objecting to the hearsay evidence. He was then overruled by the judge to allow this hearsay evidence. Today, Nisi must defend hearsay evidence. No, guys, no. Guys, we must thank Nisi in this case. Now, to those who doesn't understand, so hearsay evidence in court is not admissible. So, in the case of Zungu came to court and pretended like he had it from, or he knows this story firsthand. But it turns out that he had the story from his father. The father, Absalom Zungu, who had it from Mbeksen Ntanzi. Mbeksen Ntanzi, who had it from another Ntanzi, unknown Ntanzi, but there's Ntanzi here. Nisi stood up and objected to that and said this is hearsay evidence, should not be allowed. The judge overrules him. Listen to this.
Another point of contention here is that this witness is allowed to bring through the back door hearsay evidence. And we all know what the basis of hearsay evidence is. The state must stand up and make an application that, my lord, I am aware that this is hearsay evidence, but I'm requesting that it be provisionally accepted pending the calling of the witness whose credibility that information rests.
You are right.
But the state does not do that.
You are right.
Yes.
But this evidence is being elicited under cross-examination. That's the difference.
But nonetheless, yes.
He is being cross-examined.
Yes, my lord.
And then he answers.
Yes, my lord. But my lord, nonetheless, hearsay evidence is
You can argue
legislation.
thereafter that what he was saying is hearsay evidence, fine. But you can't accuse a witness of answering and then you say you're not supposed to answer the way you're answering because it's hearsay evidence.
But again, man, the rules are very clear. Hearsay evidence isn't admissible unless the state, as I'm saying, stands up and say, I'm making application that be provisionally accepted pending the calling of the witness whose veracity statement relies.
Okay, fine, no, but I differ with you. There's a case of State versus Lepoko.
Yes.
It's a judgment by Underhalter. Just read that judgment. It was delivered in 2019.
Yes.
SCA.
And another thing that I've noted, my lord, is that hearsay evidence is actually not elicited under cross-examination, but it is because of this unwarranted elucidation by this witness. He's just allowed to
You
do
can't-
whatever
you can't
he
get
wants
away from the
without
fact that-
any control, man.
You can't get away from the fact that this witness is under cross-examination.
He's under cross-examination, but he keeps on explaining things that have not been asked, man. If
You are
I
right.
were me,
You can argue that, no problem.
Thank you, man.
You can argue that, fine.
Thank you.
So now you see, guys, I'm worried. I'm worried about the judge that seems not to remember some of the things in court. I'm worried. I'm worried. Yes, when William called me, he was super worried. He's like, you know what, Bongs? I'm worried. I'm like, William, why are you so worried? He's like, no, man, I'm worried. I'm worried about the fact that it is clear that they will remember, or the judge seems to remember the things that he wants to remember. He doesn't remember the crucial evidence. He doesn't remember what he said. He doesn't remember things such as these things that was allowed by him. Hey man, I'm grateful for William because he brought this to my attention and I was like, let me go do a bit of a digging. Now, if we see this in court happening broad daylight, I'm wondering if it wasn't for the cameras, this accused would have been condemned or would have been convicted on hearsay evidence. Many of it. I'm going to bring the DNA. You will hear. I'm bringing the DNA as well. Hey, guys, I'm worried about the judge. I'm worried about the judge. I'm worried about the judge. I'm worried. I'm worried that they are changing things in court, making them look like the local, that those things says this, whereas actually it's an opposite of that. I'm worried about a lot of things that are happening in that court. I'm very worried. And I think I have a reason to be worried. Right? I have a reason. You're going to hear the DNA too. Oh, Jehovah. Guys, this accused, if it wasn't for the media, if it wasn't for the cameras in court, this accused would have been convicted for a crime they never committed. It is clear that most people in this case, they are not entertaining facts. Do you still remember I asked this question? And I said, the state should represent the interest of the public. And I said to you, in this case, the public, probably somewhere around 80% to 90% believes that this accused, they are not the right people for this case. And majority of us says, we are saying, we are not questioning their previous conviction. We don't have a problem with them being convicted of any crime, but the one of Senzo Meyiwa, please exclude the accused. The evidence is clear there. We don't want the accused to be convicted for crime or for a crime they never committed. We don't want that. Majority. So I then asked the question, if the majority, which is the public, says these are not the right people, and I said, who does the state represent in this case? Do you notice that in this case, the defense represent the public interest? The state represent the minorities' interests. And I'm sad, look, I would be sad to say even the judge represent that too. And I'm going to prove that. You know, we don't want to say these things, especially concerning judges. We really don't want to say these things. But, you know, there's a call that was made by MK Party. MK Party said, the local judges must be audited. There must be a lifestyle audit. You know, when MK Party said that, I was like, man, why is MK Party saying this? But I realized that there is more to that. Because if judges are audited and, you know, we know, okay, you're living this lifestyle, you are earning this much, you're living this lifestyle is in accordance to your salary. MK Party seeks to suggest the following, that there are judges who are living a lifestyle that is far above their salary.